Thank you so much to Jim, thank you to BPUR, to the APPG, and to all of you for joining us today at a time when the world seems to speak more noisily to the need for this kind of event than ever before. So I'm immensely grateful that you've taken some time out to be with us. I do invite our guests to come and join the first panel, which I have the pleasure of introducing now.
I'm chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Freedom of Religion or Belief. And just before I go further, I just want to extend my sincere thanks to Salam Sarhan and the BPUR International team for their tireless work in advancing freedom of religion or belief. It's something that's very close to my heart. If you're here, it's close to your heart, and thank you for coming. I'd also like to warmly welcome all those joining us today, distinguished parliamentarians, whether from the House of Commons or from the House of Lords, faith leaders, civil society representatives, and esteemed guests from across the United Kingdom and around the world. This is clearly and truly an international event. I'm hopeful that this conference will continue to have lasting and tangible progress.
It's the question of how we choose to organize the relationship between belief, power, and responsibility, public responsibility. The challenge before us is to ensure that religion remain the source of meaning and cohesion, not never a tool of division or violence as we serve and receive today. Thank you very much.
I said that young man came to me a couple of years ago and said that I said, you know what, you touched something that I've been always annoyed at. That people hijacking religion and thinking they're doing what's right for God, but in actuality they're pursuing far other motives, you know. And we should all work together into having something in writing in the United Nations that says you are not allowed to hijack religion and misuse it for any reason. Thank you.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for inviting me to be here today. When Salal asked me to become involved in this project, I had to think about it, but not for very long. For me, the thing that really attracted me to this proposal was the third principle there, that public authority should not use religion to restrict rights or create inequality. Because this, the tyranny of the theocrats, is the curse of our world. And I wanted to make one practical point, if I may, about this, and that is that when we are in this debate, it's very crucial that we are careful with the terminology that we use. And one of the most commonly misused phrases, I believe, is the term religious extremist. Because I believe we should not use the term religious extremist, we should use the term extremists who use religion. Whatever doubts we might have about the difficulty of the process that has been put before us today, I believe that we should set aside our doubts and we should support what I believe is a noble and worthwhile task. We need to set our sights appropriately. We understand the difficulties, and my advice finally would be to Salal and his team, don't reach for the moon, reach for the stars, because then you get the moon for free.
Article 18 alone, in other words, is not sufficient. The international legal toolkit needs to be strengthened. This is precisely why the international treaty to ban the political abuse of religion advanced by BPUR International is so critically needed. The proposed treaty does not duplicate Article 18. It complements an extensive vision of those who offered the Universal Declaration. Where Article 18 protects the freedom of religion, the BPUR treaty addresses the broader problem, the political weaponization of religion to undermine human equality, to impose religious discrimination in rights and duties, to enforce religious exclusion in public law and governments, and to restrict freedom of belief. The treaty would create binding international standards, not aspirational declarations, but enforceable norms. Binding international standards with a global monitoring mechanism to document violations and coordinate international responses. And it would do so without singling out any particular religion or any particular country, recognizing that the political abuse of religion is a universal problem that requires universal rules.
We are campaigning for almost 6 years. We innocently, me and Mr. Sawiris, were thinking that this will take 24 months because it is so indisputable. But unfortunately, working with politicians and governments is very hard. We have actually this week, there is a resolution in the Council of Europe, came out public. Now it is going to be voted next month, and there is support for BPUR International and the international treaty to ban the political abuse of religion. Now we can do it on screen now because it's public now, the report. So the roadmap is to campaign with governments, and they can take full ownership. Like let us say the UK, we are here, it is a British initiative. The Foreign Office, if they open conversation with us, we have no conditions or anything, they can take full ownership. Imagine the glory for any government. Once you have one state adoption, it's domino effect. Imagine if the UK or the United States or any country, it will be domino effect. Or Morocco, we think Morocco is in the lead because the conversation there is very, very deep. I can say that we have active engagement with around 10, 15 countries. Sometimes one country become crash the party and go to the front. Like for example, the United States, we don't have anyone there, but when I met Dr. Stephen Schneck, I feel now we can have prospect there. And when we renewed our conversation with Madame Amina Ayash, it's now there on the table. And then actually the first big step we moved forward was in Morocco and was supported by the National Human Rights Council, and Madame Amina Ayash was the host of that conference, and Mr. Sawiris was there as well, and a few of the people around here. So that's the roadmap. We keep campaigning, and any country can take it forward, and we don't dictate a single word to them. They will take it. Okay, Mr. Sawiris is going to say something.
I just want to show how relevant this is, even today. If you look at this war, it is making all of us now stop our lives and waiting to see an end to it, you know. It's, they say it's about a nuclear power, you know, so why is Iran looking for to become a nuclear power? Who are they going to be attacking with, you know? When we look at what's happening now, they are attacking Israel, which is the Jewish population. They're attacking all the Gulf, which is Sunni population, and they are Shia. So is this a religious war, or is it just about nuclear? What I'm trying to say is that deep inside, everybody wants to hijack religion to, let's say, favor his own agenda.
I think there's a very important point behind that, the question, if I may say, because it does kind of assume that governments will take an initiative on this sort of issue. And it's as much this meeting today is what pressures we can bring on government to make them act on issues like this, rather than waiting for them to act spontaneously.
How we can move in the other step with all the universal standards to a specific standards, international standards on to protect religions and also the individuals from any using or uses of religion. I think this is, for me, this is the problematic, if I can say.
I just want to mention that we had, very strong confirmation from Minister from Bahrain and also Foreign Minister of UAE delegated one of his assistants to attend it, but that was before the war, so the war has disrupted some of the important guests from the Gulf, and a minister from Iraq as well, from Kurdistan, Iraq. We have Minister Peshtuan, Sadat Abdullah.
There is a profound difference between religion as a source of personal belief and religion as a tool of political power. History teaches us a different lesson. In the name of religion, empires have risen and endured. Societies have found purpose and unity. Yet in that same name, wars have been declared, civilizations shattered, and entire populations persecuted. So why do we need an international treaty to ban the political abuse of religion?
We need to find a way in this room to find a way forward. Now, of course, we've all attended many of these meetings, and the last thing we need is another meeting. People have come from far and wide, people have come with conviction, and people have come with a sense of ownership of this. If we do not help government and policymakers, we will not have a chance.
I've read through the principles of this treaty, and the treaty itself must prevent political exploitation of religion. It must protect internal religious autonomy. If we don't move forward with this, the danger is not only religion capturing politics, but politics quietly weaponizing and taking over religion for their own political power and misuse.
This initiative has been embraced by very prominent Nigerian members of the Nigerian government, who, because of the convention today and tomorrow going on in Nigeria, the political odds are coming together to, choose their leaders for the next election. They've been unable to attend here. Many ambassadors of BPUR from the Nigerian government include the Deputy Speaker of the House, the Chief of Staff to the President, the Director General of Conflict and Peace Resolution, Dr. Ochogu, who sent his apology for not being here. So this initiative has been embraced by us, and we want to be prominent members so that we can help reduce the weaponization of religion to political ends. Thank you.
And since we have different countries here, IPPG, we have from Nigeria, Morocco is doing, so I think today is a good opportunity, beside this Westminster declaration that we, all of us, signed it consequently, that some of those countries take the lead on the international political level, on the UN level. This is the next step that we have to gain a voice for. Thank you very much.
I'm not a fourth expert. I'm here mostly to listen. But I wanted to make some points as Salam kindly invited me, and I'm new to the BPUR network. And I just wanted to acknowledge Edwin Schuker, who's my alumnus from a different life, and my mentor, Canon Sarah Snyder here, so that her name was the most compelling thing actually, that I had to be here. And welcome everyone to Parliament.
We're now talking to different organizations, government organizations, the Arab League, the last conversation we had with them. How do we bring this into the international arena? This is going to be the greatest challenge facing us moving forward. And I hope that, this is really an important gathering, and I hope we all together come up with ideas of how to take this to the next level, which is to make it a reality.
What, in your view, is one key barrier that still blocks freedom of religion or belief on the ground, and one way that implementing international standards, such as what we're proposing at BPUR, one way that can be addressed?
And I think the beauty of this initiative is that it's so focused. It has this treaty as in its essence, in its core, and Salam, there's one person who brought us all here together. And so I think this pressure group, what we are, and we are members of, I think every one of us can put pressure on governments and parliaments, and it will have an impact.
it is essential that there is a response to it, and one of the response could be this initiative to make it happen. Because I can hear, both here in this hall and elsewhere, certain amount of skepticism. Whether it is going to work, we are not short of all sorts of treaties and agreements and laws. Do they work? Is this particular treaty going to work? We will never know until we try. And UK is in a very unique position now to push it forward. And if UK does it, then other nations are going to take up this as an example. And I very much hope that this is one of the last encounters to encourage politicians to push this project forward, because we need it as soon as possible.
I think we, liberal voices, have to go against our normal behaviour. For liberals, we try to be quiet and reasonable. We need to be loud and reasonable. We need to shout more loudly for inclusivity, and we have to be more aggressive about tolerance.
For the first time in history, I think we have this simple idea, but a very nice proposition we have here. And this is for our future, not only papers. It's future for the human rights, future for the people, future for the religious, and also for the community. Thank you.
So what is missing is the legal framework. We need something that sets a set of a code of standards that everybody can agree upon regardless of their religion. This needs to be focused on the treaty and implementing that. That's like the first stage. It's not the end of the road, but at least it sets a roadmap and it sets a direction.
It's been incredible commentary, incredible wisdom, and certainly something that we can take away, each of us, and already be implementing, I feel, these concepts of we are a human family. How do we act in ways in our own lives that reflect that every day?
The award is from the International Award for Confronting the Political Abuse of Religion, is presented with our great honour to Mr. Naguib Sawiris and to Ms. Amina Boyesh.
Take photo, please.
I just want to say thank you very much. It's been a very long trip, 5-6 years, and at the end I was about to lose hope. And Salam proved me wrong, but he kept on fighting to the last minute, One last wish from all of you. Please give us an idea. How can we find someone to adopt our initiative, a country, a UN, any legal frame that can adopt our initiative to bring it to the next step? How can we go to the next step? Should we talk to the Emiratis? Should we talk to Morocco again, to the king? Should we talk to the UK here, to the parliament? Who can we have to adopt this initiative? America, of course. America's always been there.
So I'll now read the Westminster Declaration on Preventing the Political Abuse of Religion. We, the officials, parliamentarians and representatives of governments, civil society, religious institutions and international organisations are gathered at the House of Commons. We acknowledge that in certain contexts, the political exploitation of religion has contributed to discrimination, exclusion, instability and conflict, undermining equal human rights and weakening social cohesion. The international community would benefit from affirming, complementing and upgrading its legal toolkit through clearer, precise and universally respectful standards, moving from principle to practical protection on a global scale. We therefore call upon governments, parliaments and international partners to engage constructively in advancing this initiative, including through consideration of an international treaty to ban the political abuse of religion. Recognising that progress in international law requires state leadership, we encourage governments to consider supporting, adopting and taking forward this initiative through structured international engagement, including at the United Nations General Assembly. In this spirit, participants commit to continued cooperation to encourage responsible state engagement in advancing this global effort to make the world more fair and more peaceful.
If we achieve a UN treaty, a global treaty, if it was adopted, such a treaty could make a profound difference to billions of people by addressing one of the recurring structural drivers of conflict. It would strengthen domestic legal frameworks, enhance social cohesion, contribute to stability and to sustainable development. How many lives might have been saved had clearer global standards existed decades ago? How many societies might have avoided cycles of sectarian violence? We cannot rewrite history, but we can learn from it. Let this gathering in the House of Commons today, ladies and gentlemen, mark a turning point in that conversation. Let's commit to building a broad and inclusive coalition of responsible states willing to explore this treaty in good faith. Thank you.
I came here and I'm absolutely dumbfounded about the number of people who, the ideas, the thoughts, the distances they came, and the suggestions they gave us on how to move forward. When I first met Salam, I fell in love with him within 35 seconds, and with the idea itself, with the initiative itself, in 3 minutes. What puzzled me was one thing. How come something like that needs initiatives and conferences and meetings and discussions and talks when it's so plain forward that every single one of us agree on the same thing? And anyone who would find a way more direct than me to reach God and then be in between me and him and abuse me, my rights, then that is a evil person.
The people who back it at this stage, who were here in this room today, will have been part of something that genuinely transformed the world. So this is what legacy looks like. The ask is very simple. Stay close to the initiative, bring your network, bring your resources, talk to people around you. I'm bringing my entrepreneurs friends, my technologists, my artist friends, and we can move this forward. And I hope that the philanthropies in each one of us will continue to grow and will continue to be pure.
And we have now a very powerful initiative that can save souls, that can save many people, especially in my region. Thank you, Saram, for all what you do. Thank you for everyone who made efforts to bring this vital initiative for us.
I remember when I spoke with Salam, I was like, this makes total sense, but I spoke with actually other people in my kind of age group and generation who had been like, oh, like I've never actually really thought of that before. So there has to be, I think, this foundational work done to be able to really further the mission, and I think it'll be really interesting to see how this progresses, not only from kind of the kind of, I guess, code of standard, if you like, but also the younger generation, because this will be fundamentally impact them and their lives as well. So thank you so much, Salam. I'm very excited to see what happens.
It kind of really warms my heart to see so many people that just turn out, you know. I have been by Salam's side for the whole journey. I can't imagine that we will slow down anytime soon until we see it cross the finish line.
It was really a joy to see so many people come together today talking about something so hugely important, and so I do hope, I hope you have much success. I hope I can be part of your success, and as well as bring others along with me.
Now, the major takeaway from here, what are we going to leave this palace with? And what I want to suggest to every one of us is to use our resources, however strong they are or weak, to speak to relevant members of our government who represent us at the United Nations to come together. I, on my path, will do my best to speak to people in government in my country. And if others can do the same, then yes, we can get someone fighting for us at the United Nations.
So we need multiple countries and multiple cultures and multiple faith communities to all contribute to making this initiative a success. And that's a really important part of recognising that our many, many differences will bring a wisdom to this initiative that is definitely needed. It is not just a UK initiative, as you rightly say, and this room shares with us.
This is an alliance, and this is the first session, and you all can bring more people, and we can plan the next conference, and we will bring more officials, more ministers, and more people.